welcome to this show. This is Nicholas Oki. We are catching up together with, they call him a political giant in Moyale Constituency. He is a man who believes in visionary leadership and a structured leadership, a leadership with a plan. And we are catching up together with him, and he begins to take us through the exploration about leadership with integrity in accordance with what is focusing on leadership in Moyale. And this time, we are catching together with him in this discussion. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you.
I want to register my vote of thanks once again for allowing us to come and just have this strong discussion together with you. And I'm very grateful so much for allowing us to have a conversation.
Thank you.
And so we are focused on a discussion about leadership.
Yes.
And majorly we are focusing on Moyale.
Yes.
And you could introduce yourself to our viewers as well. And as we proceed on, we will begin now to stretch us through about the leadership focus.
Yeah. As you've said it earlier, my name's Chanasa, Ababa, and I hail from Moyale Constituency. I'm born and bred in Sololo, part of Moyale Constituency. And in my childhood, I knew all that was going on in Sololo, Moyale areas, up to Marsabit.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied in Sololo Primary School. I was invited I was admitted to Alliance High School. Of course, I didn't go through Alliance because I didn't even have a school fee. school fees to proceed to university. Mm-hmm. To high school. Mm-hmm. So I didn't even study Form 1.
Right.
I started from Form 2 district school, mm-hmm, called Moyale District. Mm-hmm. It was that time provincial school, actually.
It was a provincial school?
It was a provincial school. Mm-hmm. So I studied there from Form 2 up to Form 4. Mm-hmm. And a school with a very minimal educational infrastructure. Mm-hmm. We used to have very few numbers of teachers, mm-hmm, sometimes even not having even one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where infrastructure was very poor. Mm-hmm. I grew up in such an environment, and I schooled until high school, mm-hmm, in the same school, in Moyale Boys Secondary School. Then I came to University JKUAT, mm-hmm, from that secondary school, and where I studied engineering, and I graduated the year 2008.
2008.
Yes. So while I was studying, I was part of the leadership. That was youth leadership. The youth leadership. Mm-hmm. For the entire university, I was the chairman, mm-hmm, of the student union, where I served for a period of 1 year and a transitioning year, because, mm-hmm, the student union was transitioning from public university, from public mm-hmm, job students to inclusive of all students.
Right. I remember those days,
including self-sponsored.
The student body used to be very dynamic.
Yes. So I was the chairman that time, mm-hmm, and I graduated the year 2008, as I told you. Mm-hmm. Thereafter, I joined the youth leadership at the national level.
All right.
I was part of the Kenya National Youth Movement. I was the Secretary General one time. Mm-hmm. Then I also became the youth for ODM, mm-hmm, that time, and when there was Chungwa Moja and there was Chungwa politics, and later, as apart from the national youth leadership, mm-hmm, I also joined UNEP, and, mm-hmm, and I worked with them for their Nairobi clearinghouse mechanism, okay. Called at UNEP Gigiri, uh-huh, where I worked for UNEP. Then later I joined World Vision. Mm-hmm. I was at the leadership level and served there until the year 2014. So when I left.
And profile, you've been grown on leadership.
Yes, I've grown on leadership, and I've tried all my best to serve people diligently. Mm-hmm. the reason as to why in JKUAT I became chairman for 2 terms was because I delivered my promises. I loved the just society. And that is how even we formed a student body where one is not privileged over the other one.
All right.
We formed from JKUSO, we've transformed to JKUSA, where it is involving also the self-sponsored students, having equal rights at the university. So thereafter, since even that time, I have served communities. For about 9 years, I've been in the civil society, where I was also dealing with development, sustainable development, advocacy, sustainable development, sponsorship of students, livelihood resilience, building of the community. So my life, I'm used to working in an environment where we serve humanity. So thereafter 2014, I ventured into, I helped people through my foundation, where I used my own hard-earned resources, where I was helping people, rebuilding societies, communities that lost their livelihood and homesteads through violence, where there were 3 different community conflicts in Moyale.
That was in Moyale.
That was in Moyale.
I remember those times.
Then I supported them rebuilding their infrastructure. Not only rebuilding their infrastructure, we are also rebuilding peace and reconciliation. Until now, those centers that were burnt down and destroyed were rebuilt.
They were rebuilt.
And most of the time, I was using my own personal resources, helped them until 2017 when I vied for MP. I served the community for 4 years without earning salary as an MP. I was like an acting MP. So I served that time the community very well. I loved doing it. One thing that made me do all those things is I loved just doing it. So since that time we vied and lost, and kuanguka, sio kuanguka.
So that was 2013?
That was 2017.
That was 2017.
Kuanguka ukibaki uko chini is kuanguka.
You have to pick yourself up.
So I picked myself up, and thank God, not by support of anyone, but through His own ways, God re-established me, more matured, more understanding, understand the landscape of politics much better, and today, given an opportunity, I will serve better than the 2017 when I vied.
There's something that is very much exciting here, Mheshimiwa.
Yes.
And your testimony really it's really motivating, very inspiring.
Yes.
That you got into the community development in different projects in reconstructing them that had lost their homes through conflicts, using your own resources.
Yes.
And that shows the deepest heart of servanthood that you have.
Yes.
That's driven by passion.
Yes. Things that break the heart of God breaks my heart. I don't want to see children sleeping in cold. I don't want to see fathers and mothers burying their children.
That's true.
Just because of conflict. I also don't want to see things that destroys the society, which all of us belong to. And it is true that the humanity heart that I have, nobody wants to waste the resources they have. Nobody wants to use it. So I just spent it so that I help the community. Even if that time, actually, I never expected even to vie for MP. It is people who pushed us, oh, come Mheshimiwa. But I just spent money knowing I'm helping people.
So it's just...
And even since then, we lost. There was a time when we lost and we didn't have much. We give what we have. And there's a time when God blesses us also, we give more. And we continue living with the community that way.
So really it demonstrates a lot of servanthood heart.
Yes.
Because it goes into the concept of putting your subject as the key preference.
Yes.
That is very much exciting.
Yes.
Now, let me just take you close. What is your thoughts about the current political leadership in Moyale? Does it really fit your satisfaction as a transformative leader in Moyale?
I can say it's a leadership that is never prepared to lead people.
Very
He
unprepared.
came, how actually the leader Moyale MP came to power is because of compromise. Somebody who never somebody who was never seen doing anything for the society before, who has never helped anyone, not even known by the people, was brought on board just because of a compromise to win a governorship position.
All right.
So it was like the focus was never electing MP. The people of Moyale constituency never elected an MP.
Very undemocratic as well.
Very undemocratic. They elected the governor, and just because they wanted everybody to be part of it, and that was the only sector that was seen to be going to oppose the governorship. And the focus of the community was more on governorship. Nobody looked at who was performing. Nobody looked at the portfolios. Nobody looked at the performance. Nobody looked at the capabilities. They just gave a suti. In our local dialect, we called him Tokuma. Is suti, without knowing what you are united on, you know.
Man,
so
you're
they
loaded.
just they gave the seat off, and the guy came to power without even knowing why he became the MP.
So it is like
so I am saying it further that this is a leader who is in disconnect with the society.
So there is the credibility of the current political leadership in Moyale is deeply in doubt.
He's totally disconnected with the people.
Disconnect.
Yes, it's totally disconnected because they are failed in all angles of leadership. But I give credit to whatever he has done because that is the much he's capable of doing. Yes. So let's appreciate the much he's capable of doing. He has done the best he can, which to me is minimal. Yes. To him it might be the best, but to me it's minimal because whatever I have done for 4 years before 2017, he has not accomplished one.
He has not accomplished
one. Whatever I've done for 4 years, if we take it by percentage, it's less than 5%.
I tend to figure out your constituents. I think really are missing you.
Yeah, so much.
If you are in the platform today.
So much they are missing. I know.
Yes.
They are missing the much service, the big service I was giving. A lot of community service I was giving, from boreholes service to education, where I was building schools for them. I was employing teachers in rural villages where even TSCs are not aware that the students and people existed. I was building schools. I was building community resilience in one way or another, socially with the people. For 4 years, I did that, and even to date, after 2017, we are still doing it.
You're still doing
Not
it.
because we lost election, we stopped. No. In fact, we are doing it much better now. Yes.
But let me proceed in by asking you this. This may be very sensitive. Now, I know 2022 is still not yet, but now tell us, is there any political ambitions in 2022?
Of course.
We got to support you.
Of course.
Yes.
I'm much prepared. Well prepared.
Well prepared.
Yes, and this time round, we are going to win.
A probability 1 to 10.
Chances of us winning is 8.
8.
Yes, I can say. Out of
Very
10.
confident.
Very confident.
Very confident.
Very confident. And I know God is with us. Yes.
One thing that has really inspired me on your leadership. You are a man who's driven by this leadership model that is called transformational leadership.
Yes.
That is looking forward to bring in a lot of transformation.
Yes.
And that's very much inspiring. But now, help us know, what are your structured leadership plan if you are given a position today to serve the people of Moyale?
So, okay, I want to tell you that, as you've said, mine is transformative leadership. I don't want to be this leader that gives handout to people.
Just giving
or
handouts.
feed them. I want to see families feeding themselves. Young men and women feeding their own young families.
I like that. That's very interesting.
Yes.
That's very
I
interesting.
want to see society that is just and peaceful.
Peaceful society.
Yes. You will never have this kind of leadership if yourself you don't desire to do that. My desire is to see sustained, sustainable development.
Yes, sustained development.
You know, development is never development until it is sustainable.
Yeah, in
I
other
want to
words,
see
that
this sustainable
is-
development, and you will never have this when you don't have peace. You'll never have sustainable development when you don't have peace.
Peace
And the
tranquility.
structure I want to do is to bring everyone on board.
Bring
You see,
everyone
the
on
structure
board.
of leadership I want to bring on board is Moyale constituency is a cosmopolitan
It's a
constituency.
cosmopolitan.
It's made of over 14 communities, small communities,
Oh,
and
small.
also big ones.
All right.
I want to see where, as much as the majority have their way, the minority
The minority.
also get their share of rights. Not that they are left behind. And I've already shown by example. Back in Moyale constituency, the only seat that I got as a nominated MCA last election, I gave it to the community that never got a position of MCA
Right.
in Marsabit County. It's called Sakuye community. I looked at them and I saw they don't have elected position, neither do they have nominated. They've never been nominated. So what I did, I gave them the only chance I have. Instead of giving to my fellow Boranas, I gave it to them just to show and appreciate God that even the minorities
Yes.
can be heard.
Also can be heard.
Can be heard, and they can
have a space
they
as
can have a slot amongst the bigger communities.
That's a very big heart, man.
So that is what I did, and I've already shown by example. Bringing on board everyone, because Moyale problem is actually made of these disagreements between, as a result of disagreements and mistrust between communities. So one is to first bring on board everyone and build community trust.
You know, build
Community
everyone,
trust.
a
Everyone on
very
board.
solid.
Women, youth, and elders. Not the story of the past where only elders have the rule.
Elders.
We
are
also have a bigger number of people who have lost direction and have lost support, not recognized at all. Youth and women. These are the same people who suffer a lot also when there is conflict. In case of drought, the same women suffer a lot.
The same women suffer, the
In
same-
case of conflict, they are the same ones who are going to spend in the cold. They can't even run away. They cannot feed themselves. Others
cannot
can
feed
even
themselves.
relocate.
That's
These
very
are the most marginalized group in the current leadership.
That's very
They are not
interesting.
recognized. So I want to bring everyone on board,
To bring everyone on board.
and towards working for this sustainable development.
I love that united and coordinated collective responsibility of work assignment. And actually, that really inspires a lot of development as well.
Yes.
But again, let me ask this, perhaps you can help our viewers understand. I know Moyale constituency has really gone through lots of massive challenges.
Yes.
And what's your thoughts and what's your take? And as a person who's looking forward to come into this platform of leadership, what is your way forward?
Moyale has a lot of challenges that many Kenyans don't know. We actually suffer a lot of our own isolated challenges. One is conflict year in, year out. Whether there's drought, whether there's rain,
There are conflicts.
there's conflict always. These conflicts are based on resource. There's no equitable resource distribution,
That is not distributed equally.
whereby we come to one water point, all of us coming from different
Regions.
areas within the same constituency, different communities, coming for one single borehole, water resource, or a dam. This is where conflict starts from, where livestock, two of them disappear. In the process of the conflict, misunderstanding between 2-3 people, conflict arises, and it goes to the bush fire. So one of the things that I have seen is we lack resources. And sometimes we have these resources, it's only that it is not planned.
Did you mean resources are available?
Resources are available. Let me tell you, Saoke, resources are available. The problem is planning.
There is no strategic
Nobody actually looks at that with that mind of planning. You know, if you have 4 boreholes and equitably you distribute to 4 different communities and ensure that it is successful. You know, the problem is there's giving somebody contract and there's following up and ensuring that it is executed. So, ensuring it is executed successfully and people get these water resources available for everyone. Then we will minimize this convergence of different communities. Hence, we reduce conflict over these minimal resources.
That makes sense.
So that is one of the things that we have a big challenge there, is peace. Now, the other thing is we have poor infrastructure when it comes to education.
Poor infrastructure.
Very poor infrastructure.
Education.
Moyale constituency doesn't have even a single college. High school, our high school doesn't even have a boundary fence. Leave about a laboratory.
I was saying something, Meshimune, just sorry for intercepting you, that I do not know, my mathematics may not be approximate, that around 53 primary schools and the 5 secondary schools.
Yes, only.
But according to that research that I read, no colleges existing.
Yes, there's no single college. Even a high school is not enough. When you look at our people, they come all the way even to learn, all the way to Nairobi or Meru or Nanyuki to learn welding.
Right.
There's nothing called craftsman college in our village. We live about advanced college. So one of the things that before you even come to college, our primary schools, our teachers are not equipped. Our primary school are ill-equipped. We don't have even seats. Same way I used to live under the tree. I studied where we didn't have even classrooms. Some up to date, we are still doing that. We don't have this infrastructure. We don't have allocation of teachers also. We are very poor. Teacher Service Commission is not giving us enough teachers where we have no much allocation. You go to a nursery school and a primary school, there are no teachers. In fact, from 2014 to 2018, I paid salaries for about 10 teachers privately because
From your pocket?
From my pocket. I was like a TAC, paying teachers salaries.
That's a great sacrifice.
Yes, over 10 of them. Because in far-flung areas, there are no teachers and we don't have classrooms. So I also built schools with my own hard-earned money. So you see, and yet there's government resource that is going to individuals' pocket or sometimes being spent on unprioritized activities. So our priorities are all wrong. So that is why we have these resource challenges. Because resource is there, but planning and prioritization is an issue. Thirdly, we have another big problem called security.
Security issues.
Security is we have big problem there. Yeah? And we have also challenges of drought. We suffer drought. We are the first casualty in Kenya. We suffer drought faster than anyone else because we are in lowland. 2, we don't have rainwater harvesting structures placed well. 3, because of our livestock, we move from point to point, so we saw our livestock get desiccated very fast and they die off very fast because they trek for long to look for water and pasture. So they spend a lot of energies and they get emaciated very fast. And so we lose all of them. So these are the challenges we have. But peace, and I repeat again the third time, peace is our main issue in Moyale constituency. This can never be achieved by negotiating with only 1 or 2 communities. It needs all inclusivity. Yes. A united front for peace.
I know you have a very deeper focus and a stretch of a good plans for infrastructure development. the issues of land, and also your strategic plans on employment. I know you also talked about irrigations, that, well, not irrigation, but bringing up how we
Rainwater harvesting structures, boreholes. We also have, to just add on, we have a lot of national authorities. Many of them, water resources authorities, where we can go and ask for this national cake. Our leaders are not coming to advocate for our people here. I can see a lot of development happening along all over the country, where development of dams, boreholes, a lot of things happen. But our leaders are not advocating for these people. So I'm not seeing any of these projects going on in our village. Yet I can see it happening in Turkana, Baringo, Samburu. I'm seeing it happening even in the neighboring community like Mandera, despite the insecurity. Our people, we are not getting this allocation. And this because they are sleeping. Our leaders are asleep. Yes. Some of them even don't know. They, like the current MP, I'm sure he has no idea of where those projects are. Yes, I'm sure.
I know we are coming into close into this discussion, and this is very exciting. And I'm really inspired at this kind of insightful remarks that actually you had. I think this is why they are calling you a towering giant, political giant in Moyale. Yes. You are heavily loaded. But now, let me just have, what are your thoughts about our current political national leadership? Just your last words of remarks.
As we are, the people of, let me talk of Moyale constituency per se, but Boranas, our communities, we are nowhere to be seen in the national level politics, for one.
You are no longer existing anyway.
Yes, because we used to be the giants. In many years ago, until even about 10 years ago, we used to be seen as communities that are the leaders represented at the national level. But currently, we seem to be drifting away. And it's like we are not placed anywhere nationally. So my community, from my point, understanding, looking at the leadership in this country, we need to change.
There is a need.
There's need for change.
Lots of changes that is needed.
I have now experience of about 15 years.
15 years?
Looking at politics, and I see things are, the more they change, the more they look the same. So looking at the leadership, we changed constitution the year 2010. Before that, we advocated for change. Some of the things we changed that time is what we are coming back to it again. You know, the more we change, the more we look the same. And it's not yet clear because the president is transitioning. We have no clear plan from the president about transition. You look at the people who want to come to power, it's not very clear to them. So I cannot comment much on the national politics because it's not yet clear. Maybe towards the end of this year, December 2020, December 2021 is when we can clearly talk of. But the status we are in right now with COVID-19, economy is not doing well. Of course, the government is struggling to even take care of their responsibilities, and I can't complain much against the government.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I look at you straight in the eye. You much confidence in your focus.
But just to say to our viewers, our viewers, where they are watching us from, I want to assure them of my leadership that is just. My approach is going to be all-inclusive. Clan issues will never give you service. What gives you service is the person who's looking at the development, and development is your service. Clan issues will never be involving everyone because it will only involve one clan or two. My advice to my people is I have already shown them by giving them service. 4 years I've worked for them. 3 years, even after losing election, we are still working for them. The leadership they've placed, instead of placing us in power, has failed miserably. university-going students are not getting their bursaries. For the last 2 years, this money is channeled elsewhere. There's no transparency on how this money is spent. Conflict has ravaged our constituency. Moyale is not the Moyale town we used to know 10 years ago. I'm there at their service. I want to give this service. I want to work for them. I want to show them that there's a different way this can be done, that peace can be brought back by peace-loving leader like me. Development can be done by people who have no interest in that little resources given to the CDF. We will ensure that it is spent prudently and in the right way. And I want to give them assurance that they've been lied to for many years by leaders who come and promise them heaven, some of them not even promising anything, but given a position who later they fail to deliver because they never had a purpose of leadership for that community. So my assurance to you is mine is different. I've already done it with my own personal resources. I have done it with for many years, tried and tested. I have loved the community until I gave out of my pocket and given them the service where the sitting MP failed with the resources he has. My assurance to them is they've been played for long until they've lost trust. I want to bring back this community trust. That our people can one time say, for sure, one day we chose this leader whom we can trust with our resources. We can trust with our responsibilities. And I'm responsible enough. I've done it before. My training, my work life is all based on ensuring that there's sustainable development, there's peace, and to date, I'm living for that. Thank you so much.
Great, so much. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa.
Come 2022, I'll be on the ballot, still looking for the position of Member of Parliament for Moyale Constituency. And I want to assure them that this time round, we will win. God is on our side. Thank you.
Just in 30 seconds,
Yes.
can you speak in your local language to Moyale people?
Oh, okay. Now, this is off guard. Local language.
Yes.
Babaro fafaya naga qabdu ede naga sanfuda daado eda bona bokale rafte eda baro han era kan cuf baate ede sanode fadda fafayuma eda fula jirtanin naga nu qabadda amma wanni ani sanit amaddu yanu caqasitani galatoma wanni ani sant daamad egi gaaf barana nu san qarqarre sawali ani sawali indem akkani sani hojjedhelleen beettan bokku an qabulle agi beettan matati khana sijira guddo si hojjedhe gara warralle guddo si hojjedhe yo school taatu guddo sittaane hojjaayu maendeleo taatu guddo si hojjedhe hojjaayu waani nagaa taatu guddo si hojjedhe arda cab guddo jaare waan sun cufori hiyyaan hojjedhe eegi guyyaa sun dhabellee baado isanum waliin jira kura dhabe malee isanii waliin dhabne kuraan qaraa waan dabraati ammoo namni waan wal tafaati yaa isan waliin hafe am khadhufu khan mokkoosa hojjetanii deebisanii lammeessoo namuma sanii hin baane injaarina nam lafaa waba ujaare antanaafuu of baasee lafaa wabaa sii wabaa nagaa fuudha maendeleo skuulati sii fuudha tamarra bisaaniti sii fuudha ala warrallee si guuta hin guutan beetta nan dhibbifatini kura 2022 bungenaadha isin jedhe.
Thank you very much, dear viewers. On this show that you're catching up with Engineer Chanasa Ababa, he's a man who believes his idea is fresh and relevant. He's coming into top platform of leadership 2022. It's got to be on fire. You get to be ready, and let's stand together with him, and we wish him well. And man, you are loaded, and we are grateful for your hospitality in hosting us in this discussion.
Thank you so much.